Welcome to Health Coach for Women. Intentional living for more happiness and fulfillment in your everyday life with your host, Marsha Roopchand-Walker. Join Marsha as she shares her own personal wellness journey, as well as stories from our guests that will enlighten and inspire you to move towards better health and happiness. Now, here's your host, Marsha Roopchand-Walker.
Welcome to another episode of Health Coach for Women. As you know, I love to start out with some quotes. So, the more you are motivated by love, the more fearless and free your actions will be. By the Dalai Lama. I like that. You could ponder on that for a little bit. But I wanted to talk to you about how to start your self-care routine. That's what I want to talk to you today about. So let's see. So what is self-care, right? What will be your definition of self-care? So I look at self-care as taking the time to prioritize oneself, right? Taking the time out to make yourself a priority, right? And it's not an act of being selfish. It's a necessary requirement, right? So self-care is putting yourself first in order that you can better serve and be of service to others, right? So that's my definition of self-care. So what are some of the things that you can do to start to implement your own self-care routine? For each person, of course, it's going to be different. But I'm just giving you a few ideas and tips that you can implement to start for yourself. So the first thing I would say is definitely set your goal, right? You set your goal. So you would definitely say what you mean and mean what you say. Be realistic with what you are trying to accomplish. Be realistic. Don't set these high expectations for yourself if you know you may not be able to follow through with it, right? So just make it simple. That's my next point. Make it easy to follow through by taking baby steps, right? So the first thing you want to do is, if it's always, for some reason, I think they say even when you write things down, it makes it a whole lot easier for you to follow through with things. Maybe not everything that's on your list, but you accomplish more when you actually write things down. I think it really just sends something to the brain as something to really do. There is a science behind it. Of course, I didn't go through all of that of researching it, but I did read something about that before on the idea of whole thing of when you write things down, it actually allows you to help you to follow through even better. So whatever it is that you want to do, whatever your routine is, so if you want to set your task, the thing you would do is set it by priority. Set your task by priority. Okay, so what should I do first? Well, first of all, ask yourself, what is the first thing that you do when you get up in the morning? Right? What is the first thing you can do? One of the things that you can do to make a self-care routine before you even get out of bed, right? So instead of looking at your phone the first thing in the morning, when you get up out of bed, as soon as you open your eyes, you can start out by saying thank you, right? Start out with an attitude of gratitude by saying simply thank you. So that's one of the first things that you can do. But you can set your task. So you will definitely want to express gratitude daily, and that waking up saying thank you is one of them. You can set your intention, right? So set your intention for the day. How do you want your day to go? How do you want your day to be for this day that you're about to encounter, that you're about to experience? How do you want to have your day to be? So you would set your intention. Maybe you can say something simply as, today I am choosing to be happy, or today I'm expressing love to everyone I encounter by simply saying hello, being pleasant, maybe giving them a compliment, something like that. So you set your intention of what it is that you want for the day. Another thing is allocating time for your daily movement, right? So you can start up by doing you can set time to do your stretching as well as your breathing exercises. These two things are important. Doing your breathing exercises, taking a stretch, it really helps get that stiffness out of the body from your long sleep, right? And that's another thing. I forgot to mention that. That's one of my things, which I don't have in my notes, but getting enough rest. So in addition to allocating time for your stretch and movement and breathing exercise, we definitely want to make sure that we're getting enough rest. That's important, right? So at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep a day. And you know your body. So you would, get your rest according to your own biological clock. So do something normally that you normally wouldn't do. So I would say something like maybe you get up 15 to 20 minutes earlier, right, in a day, just maybe to either get that movement in, your exercise, whatever it is, or maybe it's prayer, meditation, or maybe it's just to simply journal your thoughts, right? That's a good thing too. Maybe you could just simply journal your thoughts. Journaling is a great way to express your emotions as well as to ponder on the things that you desire. I enjoy journaling. Journaling is a great way to express those emotions and a great way to think and focus on the things that you desire. And so once you can write these things down and think about what it is that you want to then actually create a plan to implement those things, right? So create a plan. So this is part of it. This is the whole thing, part of your journey, right? For self-care is by doing these things, setting your intentions, prioritizing your task, setting your intentions for the day, expressing great daily gratitude, right? Allocating your time for stretching and breathing, which I just mentioned. I'm just doing a recap right now. Journaling, right? And so what's another thing? What's another thing that's very important, right? In addition to all of these things, is your diet. Don't forget about eating whole organic foods. Yes. So add more fruits and vegetables to your diet, right? Maybe you can do something different, or that can be one of you, do something different. Maybe if you normally eat breakfast every morning, maybe you try, instead of having actually food, maybe you'll try having a fruit smoothie, something with vegetables and fruits combined together and have a nice, nutritious fruit and vegetable drink. So maybe you can try something different. And so if you're a morning person like myself, I enjoy eating my food in the morning. I can skip lunch, so maybe I would have my my smoothie replacement, or I would even push myself into just skipping breakfast and just having that smoothie, right? You can do that as well. But also, of course, having your salads, having more salads now that the weather, if you live in a place where you have the four seasons like myself, it's been snowy and cold, sunny for a few moments, for a few days, and it's back to snowing. So it's like, but we deal with it, right? Don't forget about being able to incorporate more fruits and vegetables into your diet, right? And having those salads. So why don't you also try taking up a new hobby, such as an art class, painting, whatever, learning a new sport, I don't know, anything, whatever it is that you like, that you enjoy. Try taking up a new hobby, try learning something different, right? And we also don't want to forget taking our walks in nature. That's so important. I guess I say so important because it's something that I love to do. I love taking my walk in nature. It's like it's my sanctuary. It's my place of freedom and peace. I love it. And especially if you live in the places where they have the different trails and you go to the park, it's all these different paths that you can take, right? And you can just experience being out in nature. listening to the birds and hearing the squirrels and watching the wind as they go by. Of course, when you're taking your walk, I tell anyone, always be mindful and pay attention to your surroundings, right? Because we know that there are kooks out there, and you have to be careful. So whenever you have your iPods on or whatever, your headphones on, you want to definitely make sure where the volume is at a level where that you can still hear everything around you and pay attention. Sometimes we get caught up into listening to whatever it is that we're listening to, and we may not be paying attention, right? Because I shared with you guys before, for those of you who remember, I might have shared it on Instagram, where there was actually someone in the park while I was walking who was actually masturbating in the park. So, and I was walking on this trail by myself, but I didn't have my I think I did have my AirPods on, but it wasn't on. I think I was talking to my daughter at the time. But you do have to be careful when you are out taking your walks in the park and things like that. And things can happen in broad daylight, right? We know this. So just always be mindful, always pay attention to your surroundings. But that's what I wanted to say on that. So your self-care routine is your own particular routine that you create for yourself, right? And so you can do something where you also, every weekend, you set aside time for maybe doing your foot care, right? Maybe it's taking a nice warm bath, or maybe it's something, right? Whatever, maybe it's, pampering yourself to get your nails done. Whatever it is that you do, you treat yourself once a week to do something for you. I don't know, whatever your thing is, whether it's getting your hair done, your nails, or just simply taking time to just sit back and relax for an hour. These things matter. Also, when you get your vacation, take your vacation, right? Take your vacation, even if it's a staycation, right? Maybe there's some things that you want to get done around the house. Maybe you want to redecorate. The springtime is coming. It's a great time to redecorate. And that also does things for your mood, right? That also does things for your mood. So redecorating, right? So you can, do something different. Maybe paint an area, maybe just, add a little fixtures and different pieces of whatever art that you like or whatever, and just add certain pieces, switch up your color scheme, something like that, something that you find that you get a joy out of. And your environment plays a part on your mood, right? You know that already. So your environment plays a part on your mood. So if you have these dark colors, like I have in the background, and that's only because it's winter time. So I have these dark curtains, thick, dark curtains up in the background. That's why I'm always keeping them open. So, but when the spring gets here and it's nice and warm and beautiful, great weather, you want the inside of your home to match the outside, or the inside of your home to match how you feel inside, right? So all those things just add to your mood and make you feel better. So, add some color, put some flowers around. I actually have my plants in the windows, sitting in the window over there, and we can get all the sunlight. That's where most of the sunlight come in. So my plants are over to the big window. But find whatever it is that makes you happy. Start doing these things, right? And for those of you who have small children, set aside time for you. And that's why if you have small children, getting up a little bit earlier may be good for you, right? So before you start with the kids and getting them ready for school or homeschooling or whatever it is, set aside an extra 10, 15 minutes just for you. Right. And you can do that before you get started with your day with the kids, or after you put them in bed for the night. Right. After you put them in bed for the night, have a routine, and that's about it. I think I covered just about everything that I wanted to cover. And set your routine, stick with it. Don't judge yourself so harshly when you don't follow through. be kind to yourself, be loving to yourself. And so let's go back to that quote, right? So the more motivated you are by love, the more fearless and free your action will be. Okay, so ponder on that. So be more motivated by love, right? And with that, you can be fearless and free. So don't judge yourself harshly. Do what you need to do for yourself so that you can be the best you can be. It's not about perfection. It's about being better, doing better, right? With what we know. So that's all I have for you for now. Until next week, bye for now.
Thank you so much for listening to Health Coach for Women with your host, Marsha Roopchand-Walker. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please be sure to rate, subscribe, and review on your preferred podcast listening platform. We really appreciate that effort. Until next time.